Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you on here, and I hope you guys can try these mandalas and have a fun time doing it. So before we get started on the mandala design, I'm going to explain our tools. So the tools I use are color-coded, so they have a color on the top of the tools. When you buy them off of Temu or Amazon, they usually just come clear. So first off, for the twirly tools, I do not use the green twirly for any of my tutorials, so you can set this one aside. As for the rods, the largest two rods, I, again, also do not use for any of my tutorials, but if you're doing like a bigger project on your own time, then of course you can use these. So now to help you understand what I have color-coded, you can lay them out biggest to smallest. The biggest one, which is the green one, next size down, we have it marked as the blue stick. And then next size down after the blue is the white stick. After the white stick, it's the yellow stick. And then we have the pink stick. And then last but not least, trying to pick them up, is the black stick. And then of course we have the twirlies. These are self-explanatory. They are color-coded already. You can color code them yourself. We use just nail polish on the tops of the tools. We can get started with the design now. For today's class, I'm going to be using this color palette. Keep in mind that all these paint colors are multi-surface. For paint color A, I'm using Craft Smart Multi-Surface Parchment. For paint color B, I'm using Craft Smart Multi-Surface Desert Sky. For paint color C, I'm using Craft Smart Multi-Surface Deep Sea Green. For paint color D, I'm using Craft Smart Tangerine. Paint color E, Craft Smart Multi-Surface Pumpkin. And for paint color F, Craft Smart Multi-Surface Radiant Gold. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and get started on the notebooks. So first step, we're gonna take the blue stick. So blue stick with paint color D. D as in dog. And you're gonna put this first dot right on this little mark that you have on your notebook. This is going to be our center dot.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, so there's a number. A, B, C, D. There's 4.
There you have expert level paint over there. You'll decode it.
Okay, next up, we're gonna take the pink twirly, the smaller end with paint color B. Yes, B as in boy. So to make sure our design is as symmetrical as possible, I like to use like a little technique to guide me for this first row of dots. So your first dot, you're going to place anywhere around the middle circle. Then you're going to go right across from it and place a dot there.
Ooh, I like that. Smaller. Yeah.
Then you're gonna find the center of those two, place it to the side like that, and then one more dot across from that one, so that we get like these 4 guiding dots, north, south, west, east.
I like it.
Okay, once you have those 4 dots, we're going to go in between and place another 4 dots around, so you should end up with 8 dots. Okay, once you have those 8 dots, we're gonna go in between the dots one more time. So you should add 8 more dots, which should bring your total up to 16. And then you can go ahead and wipe your tools after that. Okay, next step, we're gonna use the pink twirly, the bigger end, with paint color A. And we're gonna place these dots like above, but in between. So you don't wanna put it above the dot like this, but kind of above the in between.
Are we just going all the way around with it, or is there a method to our?
Just to keep the symmetry, you can go like
Like we did
north,
before?
south, west, east again, and then go in between how we did, or you can just go around. Okay, moving on, we're gonna use the white twirly,
Moving on up.
the bigger end with paint color F. And we're gonna place these dots the same way that we just did, so above the in-between. Okay, next step, we're gonna use the blue twirly with paint color E as an elephant.
Small one or big?
We're gonna use the bigger end, and we're gonna do one more round of dots, placing them above the in-between.
On the big end?
Yes. Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink stick with paint color C as in cat.
The stick. C.
And we're gonna put these in between and above, but we're going to skip a gap. So you should end up with 8 of these.
In between and above, skipping one.
Oh, yeah, I was on totally wrong. This one? We're doing C right now. Yes.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink twirly
Pink twirly coming up.
with paint color A. We're gonna use both ends, but we're gonna use the bigger end first. You're going to place a dot above like this. Then you'll switch to the smaller end, dip in the paint, and drag on both sides. Okay, so moving on, we're gonna use the pink twirly. And we're gonna use paint color B.
Okay.
Did you guys have fun with the drags?
I got there We are still on the clock, so it has to feel a little bit like work.
Well, too bad we're doing them again. So, so we're gonna use the pink twirly with paint color B. We're gonna use the bigger end first. And you're going to place 3 dots like this.
Okay. Okay. That's okay.
And then you'll switch to the smaller end, dip in the paint, and drag on each side.
Mine's gonna run in.
It's okay. It's gonna be collision.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the black stick and the blue twirly. So we're gonna take the black stick first with paint color D as in dog. We're gonna place a dot in between like that. Then with the bigger end of the blue twirly, same color, you're going to place 2 dots like this. And then back to the black stick, 1 more dot above like that.
The big end of the blue twirly, right?
Okay, so
Yes.
plastic,
And we're in color
okay, the first
D is in dog.
and then, oh,
So I'm gonna add a little something to mine, which you guys don't have to do, but I'm gonna go in with the pink twirly and make this bottom dot a teardrop.
When I got lost.
Okay, moving on, we're gonna use the pink stick
Pink stick.
with paint color C. Yes, C as in cat.
Pink stick.
And we're gonna place a dot above these designs that we did. Okay, next step, we're gonna use the pink twirly with paint color E as an elephant. We're gonna use the bigger end first, place a dot above, switch to the smaller end, dip in the paint, and we're going to do the dots. Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink twirly with paint color A, and we're gonna do the same thing. So bigger end for the first dot, and then switch to the smaller end to walk the dots around. Okay, next step, we're gonna use the white twirly. We're gonna use paint color F, and we're gonna walk the dots again. So bigger end for the first dot, and then smaller end to go around. Okay, next step, we're gonna take the white twirly and the blue twirly,
Two swirlies.
Hold them both at the same time.
and we're gonna use paint color B as in boy. So first we're gonna use the blue twirly bigger end with paint color B. And we're just walking the dots again, so the blue twirly for the first dot, and then you'll switch to the white twirly bigger end to go around.
Both big ends. And we're doing B.
I feel like this one makes it all come together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It's a good one. The next one will be pretty
But
much.
wait, there's more.
Okay, next step, we're gonna use the blue twirly. We're gonna use the bigger end with paint color C as in cat. So this is gonna be a hard step. Okay.
Okay, thank you for warning. You can get through it now.
So we're gonna do 2 big drags. You're gonna start in between the first and the second dot of the walking the dots. And you're going to drag around.
Got this.
So see how I do it in little strokes? That helps it make the paint go all the way around, and make sure you get a lot of paint. I even like to swirl it around in there, get a bunch of paint on my tool.
I love that example.
Was it C?
That's a perfect swirl. We got this. Okay. Swirl with the paint.
Yeah.
We can just modify that one. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Okay. Here goes nothing. You got this.
Yeah, you swirl around the toppest dot. Like you use the toppest dot as your middle dot. Toppest. Oh man, I feel like it's on my brain.
This one makes us all focus more. She's fine.
Okay, next step, we're gonna use the white twirly, bigger end, with paint color F. Yes. And we're gonna do drags again, but it should be easier because they're not gonna be as long. So you're not gonna start up here, you're gonna start lower than the first one that we did and drag around.
Okay, so we got this.
Started halfway down.
The bigger size, you said?
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink twirly, smaller end, with paint color D, as in dog. And we're gonna do one more pair of tiny little swooshes, like that. And then you'll switch to the bigger end of the pink twirly with paint color E and just place a dot in between like that. Okay, so now we're going to do the two little designs on the corners like that. So you can either do it like opposite corners like this, or, well, we don't, I mean, you could, if you had room, do it like this, or you can do it both two here or two here, just however you want.
Oh, dang, Cherie.
Isn't
it pretty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks awesome.
Okay, so we're gonna take the white stick.
Decision to be made right now. I don't know what to do. The white what?
Oh. Yeah. So we're gonna use the white stick with paint color A. So this will be our center dot for our little designs. So make sure you don't put it like too close to the edge or too close to the ribbing so that you have room to actually do a design around it.
I don't know if I should.
Next step, we're gonna take the pink twirly, smaller end, with paint color E as an elephant. So we're gonna be working on both of them at the same time. So I'm just gonna be showing the one, but don't forget to do the second one. Oops. Make sure your finger doesn't slip because then this happens. Okay, so we're gonna use the smaller end of the pink twirly, paint color E, and we're gonna do our 4 dots that we did originally for the big design. So you're gonna place 2 right across from each other, find the center, put it off to the side, and then another dot across from that one. After you do the 4 dots, you're going to go put 1 dot in between the gaps, or in the gaps, so you should end up with 8, and then you can go ahead and wipe your tool.
With the same, okay.
Yeah, same size, which is the pink twirly, smaller end, and paint color E. Okay, next up, we're gonna take the white twirly bigger end with paint color C, as in cat. And we're gonna put these dots in between the small ones we did. Obviously, you can't put it right in between, so just try and wedge it in there as much as you can.
We're skipping one?
Big
Oh, no,
end.
okay.
Okay, next up, we're gonna take the white twirly smaller end with paint color B, as in boy. And we're gonna put a dot in between the ones we just did. Okay, next up, we're gonna take the black stick with paint color D, as in dog. And we're gonna place these above the small dots we just made.
C is in dog.
I know.
It's the black one. Oh.
Okay, next step, we're gonna use the yellow twirly. We're gonna use paint color B. We're gonna use the bigger end first. You're gonna place a dot above like this. Switch to the smaller end. And for this, make sure you just get the tip because we don't want too much paint. We want these little swishies to be nice and small. So you're gonna start next to it and drag around.
With B?
Yes.
Okay.
What size do you guys like better? The smaller one or the bigger one?
Smaller.
Okay, then you guys can go ahead and use the smaller end of the pink twirly. And just gonna do 4 little dots. Gonna use, yeah. So you're gonna place 1 dot in between like that. And then you're gonna place a second dot above, but make sure to leave some room in between. And then 2 dots like that.
Is there gonna be another design or is this
No,
it?
this is the last.
Okay, so this is where we can fix that.
So that was the last step for the like design part. If you guys want, you can maybe add like your initials or like the year at the bottom. I'm going to go back to this big design, and I'm going to do just a little bit of overlapping. I can't do too much because most of my dots are still wet, but I'm going to use the white twirly, smaller end, paint color C, and I'm going to overlap these dots that we did here, and I'm going to make them all kind of like face towards each other in the center like that.
Oh, yeah. Nice touch on that.
Using what color?
See,
What's blue?